Hi, good morning, and welcome to the Djuli F and frequently asked questions webinar. So we do this once a week, and it's just really our commitment to several of our products, including Djuli, and I'll go forward quickly. So Djuli is a data management system. It's a proprietary system that's owned by ZP, and we make a premium, and there's a freemium version of it. And I want to just emphasize on the freemium that you can sign up for this for free, and it's got numbers of reports, and you can get a sort of sense of it. Let me go forward then a little bit and just say, so this is our data management system from ZP, and how I would describe it is really it's a cloud data system that's designed to receive electrochemical data. You can share electrochemical data here, you can download the electrochemical data, you can analyze the electrochemical data. So it's really a really excellent platform. I think this is a really excellent platform for those engaged in the business of electroanalytical chemistry and electrochemistry, let's say more in general, but specifically electroanalytical chemistry. And obviously at ZP, we're particularly interested in electrochemical sensor development. And it also has an API capability, so it's also part of our technology stack, which I describe as sensor to API. So I'll go forward a little bit more and say that we do this webinar once a month, because our intention is, once a week. Our intention is to answer any questions that have come in during the week. It's also worth saying that every month there is a Djuli webinar where we do a live webinar, and it's probably worth saying that in those webinars we do have several speakers, and it's probably at least 5 of us. It's quite condensed, it's 45 minutes, but there's 5 speakers, each one of them doing a live webinar at the time, and so it's really, you get a really good sense of the whole functionality of this, and I'll put a link to that underneath the video when we've finished. One of the techniques that Djuli can cope with, Djuli's set up to receive amperometric data, impedance spectroscopy data, potentiometric data, and also voltammetric data. Now ZP, I would say, suggests we do voltammetry sometimes slightly differently to other people. They seem to sort of, in voltammetry, they focus on voltammetry as a function of scan rate, and that's kind of interesting. We do have lots of data on our website, regarding this. But at ZP, we're actually more interested in voltammetry as a analytical sort of method, not for a way of characterizing the electrochemical cell, but as a way of actually saying, how much of this molecule is in that solution. And so you'll find us doing this kind of analysis where we'll look at voltammetry as a function of concentration, and we'll then be able to plot a sort of best fit line and essentially do a calibration. So what I want to do today then is actually focus on that. So I'll do a quick sort of show and tell around the idea of Djuli for voltammetry. So in fact, I have that data here on my page. So here's that sort of voltammetric data. You can very quickly see how powerful this really is, because I can go in here, I can see all the files. So we have, if I do this, we have files, which is the data. We have the data, if I can call it that way, and I'm able to actually enable and disable files quite quickly within that. And then you can see that I can actually analyze this data really quickly, and I can bring out key performance indicators, things like the fit to a best fit line, and the errors associated with it, and how does that data actually look on the actual curve. So we are able to bring out a lot of statistics on data really quickly. If I go into tools, you can see here that I can enable and disable data quite readily. Under properties, this is voltammetry. So I don't have, it's not continuous, and what I mean by continuous is Zimmer-Peacock will work on CGM, continuous glucose monitoring. It's not that, it's a discrete measurement. We made a measurement, it's done. It's not, let's say, a repetition. So we do, if it's voltammetric discrete, then we can show extractive values. We can look at peak height. We could look at area under the curve. That's also another way of looking at it. So you can see that I can just toggle these things on and off. If I do that, then it'll turn essentially everything off at the moment. So it's everything's essentially turned off. But if I go back in and I say, right, I want to look at that data by looking at the peak height, or the peak. Well, that's actually peak. That's area under curve. If I do peak height, I can tell it where I want the data to kind of be. I'll look at approximately 0.6 with a window of 0.2. Let's have a quick look how that looks. And you can see very quickly it's actually picked up all of those peaks. Now this is looking at it's actually looking at the first and second scan. So if I only want to look at the first scan only, if you're unsure about cyclic voltammetry, by the way, we do have a lot of webinars. We do have the ZP Academy, and we also do have workshops as well. But if I want to sort of, at the moment, in fact, I am looking at the second scan bit because I can see here that I've disabled these. So if I was to summarize this, then Djuli is the ability to go into the lab, grab, if I can say grab, maybe I should say experiment, and if I can say get a lot of voltammetric data, but then actually very rapidly come back in to come back to the office, let's say, and then be able to actually analyze the data very quickly. So what I want to do then is I want to just show you that I can sort of turn that back on and off again. So if I just go into here, under properties, under that was peak height, I can also turn that off, and I could do area under curve as well. That's just another way. I'll choose again that window, 0.6 volts versus 0.2 volts. And I will close that. And I will have a quick look at that. Yeah, I mean, it's found it again. It looks really quite nice. And yeah, it gives me the best fit lines and all that. I say all that stuff. I should be a bit more scientific about it, but it very quickly does the analysis. So let me sort of summarize it and say that so Djuli will allow us to take something like voltammetric data, analyze it very quickly, get these kind of calibration curves, and you don't have to spend essentially what's called valuable time, doing routine analysis. It also has a templating situation, so once you've sort of set it up, it will carry on. You can just reuse the template, so you can put your intellectual capability or capacity into something, and then you can scale it, and that's really important. So I just want to say thank you very much. If you've got any questions of ZP, especially around Djuli, we do this webinar once a week. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. Okay, thanks very much.